Woo!
We're back. It
Say
might
hello.
be Tuesday. Bit of a change in time slot, but we're here. Karen, hello. How are you?
Hello, Nick. I'm good, thank you. Yes, it is a bit confusing. I've got in my head now I'm Monday morning, but in fact it's Tuesday morning. But it's so good to be back no matter what day it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A big hello to everyone joining us here this fine, fetid, and slightly chilly Tuesday morning.
Yes.
We are back with a full show. We've got chat, we've got messages, we've got announcements, we've got the lovely Kate May. So please, my friends, share, like, subscribe, follow, react, comment, say hello. Who are you and where you're from? All of the usual shadazzle to let us know that the world of the internet is watching. And as it's said, and as my favourite TV show is back, I've got to say it. Nick and Karen are here, and we're listening.
Your favourite TV show. I like
Uh,
that. I like that word, shadazzle. I like that.
Shadazzle,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like that word. That's a good word. That'll be the word of the day.
Word
Let's
of the day, yeah.
yeah.
I don't know whether I've heard it somewhere or made it up from other words. It's probably one of those because I do that from time to time. But then if the human race can rewrite the dictionary to have words mean whatever they want them to mean, then so can I. Right?
Why not? We'll make it up as we go along. That's fine. That's fine.
Absolutely. So, Karen, what have you been up to?
Well, not a great deal because I've had a bit of a cold. It started last week and it continued. So my week was a little bit quieter. I was supposed to do some services and stuff, and I couldn't. I managed to do a bit of online teaching, but apart from that, I've had a quiet time. So I've been catching up with TV. I've been sitting on the sofa. So just vegging, really, just trying to get rid of
Good.
this cold. So
I think
sometimes
it's
you have to do
needed.
that.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
really, really is needed sometimes. I think we all tend to put so much pressure on ourselves to be constantly learning, growing, and
yeah,
doing that we forget to actually live.
yeah, yeah.
Which I'm absolutely with you on that. Oh well, I'm glad to see you back firing on all cylinders and feeling your old self.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
getting there. I'm getting there. Yeah, so I'm
Good.
okay. It's interesting you say about resting because babies actually grow while they're resting,
Yes.
which so even when we think we're not growing, we are. So
Absolutely.
that's really good. There you go.
In
Oh,
actual fact, skin repairs itself while we sleep.
all these little things I learn when I come on here with you, Nick.
Well, I'd be very. I think I'd be useful in a random pop quiz, but probably not so much everywhere else. So I'm told. But
Do you know
that is
what you remind me of my son when I'm out with my son? He's the same. He comes out with random things when we're in London about history, and then he comes out with really because he remembers random thoughts because he
yeah,
creates quizzes and game shows, and he just comes out and I go, really? He's like they called him Wikipedia Will because that's what his brain's like.
fantastic. Absolutely love it. Oh yeah, I'm so excited about today because it's all different. Even
It
though
is.
what the more things change, the more things stay the same, and we are gonna have a great show that's staying the same. It's just
Yes,
we're on a different day.
exactly.
Um, but only for this week. Only for
Yes,
it's because obviously Richard and the SPTV team were at Spirit Seekers over the weekend. See the Facebook page of the website for details. There's so much going on. So really do have a look if you missed any of that. But of course, we'll be getting in trouble if we don't start saying
I know. We've
hello.
got to say our
Let's actually
hello.
start with a hello to producer Richard, sitting patiently in the wings, thinking, "Oh, are they ever going to shut up and say hello to somebody?" Or he's you always know you can get away with doing what you want when he says, "I'm just going to sort something out," because he then goes, he's still listening to make sure that he can tell us off if we swear,
Absolutely,
but he'll just let us get on with it. But of
you
course,
will.
let's say hello to our wonderful family in SPTV land,
Yes.
starting with the lovely Lucita Ellie, born in NY. I'd say that's New York, I'm assuming.
Mhm.
So born in New York, and this is the life. Bless you. Well, good morning and welcome.
Morning, Lucita. Oh, we've got Tiffany. Hello, Tiffany.
Hello,
Nice
Tiffany.
to
Good to
see
see
you.
you. My
Nice to
niece's
see
name.
you.
Good name.
Lovely.
Brenda Walker from Canada. Good
Ooh.
morning. Good evening.
Onessa. Good morning.
Hi, Anissa. Good
Nice,
morning. Welcome.
nice to see you.
Fabulous. And Wendy Payne. Yay! Yeah, we thought so too, didn't we?
Absolutely. Lisa Holland. Hello. Good morning from California. Oh, I like your picture. Morning, Onessa. She's come back again. Lovely to see you. It's so nice when everybody comes on and says hello. Don't you find it gives you a bit of a buzz, Nick? It sort of like makes you, Rachel. Hello, Rachel from Nubian Surrey. Oh, beautiful Surrey. I used to live in Surrey.
Hey.
And then we've got Davina O'Shaughnessy from the Midlands. All the lovely Midlands. Morning, Davina.
The Heartlands.
Yes.
Morning,
Yes.
Davina.
Lovely.
And then we can say, of course, hello to Deb Clark.
Hello, Deb. Oh,
Hey.
it's cold in Warwickshire. It's cold in East Sussex as well. Yes, it's cold.
It dropped so quickly, but apparently it should start going back to double digits tomorrow. So keep your fingers crossed for double digits, Deb. Morning, darling. Good to see you.
We're supposed to be having a storm, Nick. Have you heard? We're having a storm.
That's probably why it'll go back up there.
Tiffany's from Salem in Oregon. Oh, lovely. Lovely.
And Julie Burgoyne's from Scotland. Good
Woo!
morning.
I bet it's cold. I bet it's cold up there.
Oh, yes.
Kazza in the house. Hello, Kazza. Lovely to see you.
Kazza's in the house. Stay sure. Nice and sunny autumn day in North Nottinghamshire. Right, everybody in your cars up to Nottingham.
Hello, Charlie Davis. He's having a fabulous morning. Well, so are we. So that's wonderful.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Good to see you, Charlie.
It is good.
And Anne McClernon. Good morning to all. With
morning, Anne.
Of rainbow hearts.
That's nice. That's lovely. Eunice Spinks. Morning, Eunice. Oh, I love your doggy, Eunice. I love that picture. What a gorgeous face. And Patrick. Morning. Hello, Patrick.
Good to
nice
see
to
you.
see you.
Sasha Louise Bentham. Good morning. Do you know what? I'm seeing that emoji an awful lot more these days. The lovely green hill with the sunlight cresting over the top. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Morning, Sasha. Oh, Hayley Wells. Hi from Yorkshire. It's freezing. Yes, Yorkshire can get cold. God's country, they call that. Beautiful. I love Yorkshire.
Christine, God's country, or is it God's refrigerator?
Well, God's country, that's what they call it. Christine Davis, sunshine in Caterham, Surrey. Well done. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Hello, Helen. Oh, she's in from Ireland. The beautiful Green Isle. How lovely.
That beautiful place. And don't forget, friends, share. We have competitions with each other. I'm going to be honest with you. We have competitions with each other on the shows to see how many shares we can get. And we've got a target that we always like to beat.
We do.
Record. So share it. You can share it to groups. You can share it to your own page. Share it to friends. Just go wild.
The more the merrier, as we say.
Absolutely. Yeah. Add to the fam.
Absolutely. Get us all out there and become one big spiritual SPTV family. It'd be wonderful. Wonderful.
Amen to that. Amen to that. So, announcement time. A new show tonight at 6 p.m. Come on. The lovely tomorrow night. I do apologize. See, this is why it's good for mediums to have voices in our ears. And this one's Richard. Tomorrow night, at 6 p.m. We've got the lovely Diane Jessica starting a new show. So please do join in, engage. When the post comes out to let them know what's going on, there they are. Look, lovely, lovely Diane Jessica. So that's the new show tomorrow at 6 p.m. Please, please, please do share the advert to let people know that they're there. It usually comes out around about 10 o'clock in the morning. And then share the feed, let people know and join in, engage, take part, because that's what building a community is all about. And yes, there's no shopping. That's why I'd got tonight in my head. There's no shopping show tonight. But please, 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 can we send Karen, the host, some healing and some upliftment and some love, some joy? But Deb Clark is, of course, the lovely Deb, who we spoke about a few moments ago in the freezing Warwickshire. She is, of course, on tonight, as per usual. So don't forget to come along and support her. But please send healing to Karen, who's on the shopping show.
We have exciting news, don't we, Nick?
We will, of course, have Kate May a bit later on, but
we have exciting news as well, don't we?
Do.
Yes.
To do with an app. The world's app crazy, hasn't it?
Yep. Shall we tell them? Shall we tell them?
Tell them. It's on screen. Oh,
SPTV. I'm so excited. SPTV has got their own app. Woo!
And it's going to be live by the end of the month. Looky.
And I know Richard's really excited because I can feel his excitement in my ear. So I know it's going to be really, really exciting. We're all excited here. So you can there'll be lots of promotion about it. I'm sure that it'll be lots of information on the website, on Facebook, on the channel. So you're going to have your own SPTV to press. And it'll evolve in time. And isn't that wonderful? That's so exciting.
Absolutely. Free card of the day, links to the hosts and what they're up to, and book a medium, live feed of the show, an updated, fully functioning schedule. Did I mention the card of the day? The card of the day, it's awesome. It really, really is. And it's like you said, and like we were talking before, it is an evolution. It is a growth and it is a development. And it just makes life easier to have that app. Oh my God.
Look at that. Can I just say, Nick, before I just want to say, well done, Richard.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because he worked very hard behind the scenes and he's done an amazing job. So well done, Richard.
It is an absolutely thankless task and sometimes even less than a thankless. But he still plows away for our benefit. We get seen all the time. We get heard all the time. Richard rarely comes on screen, to be heard. He's never seen, but rarely comes on scene to be heard. And it is about just getting the work done and getting the message out there. And it is an absolutely thankless task at the best of times. But this app, as you said earlier on, it is a full evolution and a growth, and it will form over time. And Kelly Roquette was saying just a moment ago in the comments, I was going to ask if there was an app coming.
Yes.
Like we say in Australia, I'm big Kev excited.
But oh, how nice. The people that were at Spirit Seekers weekend with Richard had a little sneak preview. So how wonderful was that? How lucky. Oh, it's exciting times. Exciting times.
Really, really is. It really, really is. So watch out for that because it's a coming. And it's just going to be absolutely, absolutely amazing. Definitely. In actual fact, one might say that it's heaven sent.
Oh.
There's always a downside. Another favorite TV show of mine. What's the downside?
Sacre bleu.
Well, I won't think. At the moment, it will only be available on Android, but I'm sure there are plans in the making. You know what it's like.
Now I'm sad. I'm sad now because
Oh no.
yes, I haven't got an Android phone, so I'm going to cry now because I want the app and it's not there.
Just get an Android phone for
No, no, no.
Do you know what? Actually, as an Android user, I've got to say it's nice to actually hear Android having something before, because it always feels like Apple has the good stuff first.
Mm.
So it is nice as an Android user to hear that it's about. Now Charlie Davis just asked a really good question,
He
and I
has, yes.
have own suspicions about the true reason why, and I'll tell you what they are. Because it's not about him. Charlie just said, "Why does Richard not come on screen?" And his answer would be, "Because it's not about me. It's about spirit." I can hear him saying it, and this is one of the great things about Richard. He is very often heard.
Yeah.
But
Or as Stay said, it's because he can't get his mascara straight.
I hadn't seen that. Yeah. Richard, darling, I can always help you with your mascara. I've got a few tips, darling. But no, Richard prefers to be busy. Richard prefers to be problem solving, and trust me, there's always problems when it comes to technology. And Richard just likes to focus on what he's doing and make it the best product that he possibly can for us as hosts, for you as viewers. And he really isn't about grabbing the limelight and Big Boss Richard stopping in every 5 minutes, coming on screen. He doesn't do that. When he comes on, when I'm on my own, it's because he's helping me out, and he's like, "Oh God, you're dying, Nick. You're really starting to lose your steam. I'll come and have a chat with you." And it is the wonderful thing about Richard that he will do what he needs to do, rather than what he wants to do, with relation to coming on screen and saying hello. So we are so lucky to have a guy like. The arguments are going on about Apple's Android.
She's very happy she's got an Android, so we're going to have lots of sad faces from us poor Apple users. But never mind, that's your challenge, Richard. Get it for the Apple users.
That's the next solution. And hello, Lillian Beasley.
Hello, Lillian. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. So, what are we going to start our chat off about today, young Nick?
We were talking beforehand, weren't we? And we was talking about the levels of existence, and that ultimate question of what is and what does heaven look like. And there are so many different views and thoughts, and I know you've got, because we started with, see, this is what Richard does. He tells us to shut up and save it for the show.
Yeah, he does.
It was so funny. We're chatting away and just, save it for the show. You just save it for the show, all right? Just stop. I'm trying to broadcast you. Save it for the show, because there is a lot of passion. This, for such a very gentle topic, for such a very simplistic concept, it does generate a lot of passion. And Mum's back from the doctor.
Hello, Linda. Lovely to see you.
Morning. Other half took to the doctor.
Yeah.
But yes, so I mean, we were talking about heaven and what it actually is, and my personal view, which, because we were talking beforehand, I know you weigh, from a slightly different angle. Is that when we see spirit, when we see the afterlife as mediums, as human beings, whether it's through meditation, through vision, through astral projection, whether it is through NDEs, we are seeing a level between worlds that is kind of, for want of a better term, a construct for the benefit of our physical nature, because I believe that we cannot truly see what heaven looks like until we get there. And the example I would use is like Tron. You remember that film, Tron?
Vaguely, yes, I remember that. Yeah.
The guy getting uploaded into a computer. Now, are there tiny little programs running around that look like the people that wrote them or use them? Of course not. It was a construct to make it easier for us to see and accept it. Because if we were to upload ourselves onto the internet, we would be energy, information, and thought. You cannot see thought in the way we see with our eyes. So that the astral plane, the astral realm, that layer where we go to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
We say it all the time as mediums, don't we?
We do.
That is there for our benefit. So we cannot ever truly, until we get there, see what heaven looks like. But it doesn't mean to say we shouldn't think about it and wonder and,
Well, we do, because we want to know, we always want to know about the unknown, the things that we cannot see, the things that are not tangible to us. We want to know what it's like. And it's the same, there's certain countries in this world that I've never been to. I've seen pictures, I've seen them on the film, but until you're actually absorbed in that moment of that culture and the smells and the places and the people, you don't get that true experience. And it's the same, I think, when you go to the other side, because we all have our mindset of how we want it to be. Now, I do know that the spirit world exists. I do know that the spirit world come close, especially when people are transitioning. I've been in that. I've been in many with people when they've transitioned over, and I've always got a sense of spirit around the room. So no, I don't believe that anybody's alone when they transition, because I've sensed spirit. But I can remember watching. I've watched quite a few films on death and the afterlife, because being a spiritualist, I suppose you get a bit curious. And I watched the Robin Williams film, and everything there was in deeper color. And I think we create our own existence in the spirit world. That's what I think. I think we go there. And I had a wonderful friend called Gwen, and she loved to dance, and she always wanted to do belly dancing. And she loved dancing, but physically, when she got older, she couldn't. So, she always said to me, when I go to the spirit world, I'm going to be dancing. I'm going to be doing whatever I want to do. And that was what she said, because she loved to dance. She said, I'm going to get rid of this physical body, and I'm going to dance my socks off in the spirit world. And that's that was her passion. I think everybody will do what they want to do when they get there. Everybody has their own interpretation of it. And basically, sometimes I think we've got to concentrate on what we're doing here before we get there.
Yes.
Because it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, it's about what we're doing here. And I know we've got this intriguing mind, and everybody wants to sort of wants to know the things that they cannot see. But I think it's important that we focus on our spirit here on this physical journey. And another film I watched, and it's a really interesting film. I watched this probably about 20 odd years ago, and it's with Meryl Streep and Albert Brooks, and it's called Defending Your Life. And it's a comedy, but a spiritual twist. And it's about a guy that he goes to they call it the waiting time before they decide where they're going to go in heaven or the spirit world.
Yeah.
And he doesn't believe he's dead, because they put him up in a travel lodge, and there's all these different hotels on this level, and you've got some in travel lodges, some in sort of like Waldorf Astoria, and then you've got you've got all the different levels of luxury of these hotels. And he meets Meryl Streep, and they fall in love in this limbo time, as they call it. And it's a really interesting film, and it's one of those films that's always stayed with me, and it makes me laugh because it is funny. But basically, when we get it, and this is something I've always thought about, when we get over to the other side, do we look at our life? Do we watch a download of our life and think, well, maybe I could have done that a bit better, or why did I do that? Maybe we do. I don't know, but it was interesting. It was interesting. So, and I think, you know, the spirit world are around us to support us. And I think it's going to be different probably than how we perceive it to be.
Absolutely. So we're not that far off, you know, from that perspective, because it is really, you know, as my dad used to say, suck it and see, you know, get on with life and live it. But yeah, you're absolutely, and we were talking earlier on as well about the animalistic nature of humans. It is that constant seek and find mentality of the human race, to want to know where we're going, because the thing about a journey is we want to know where we're going, don't we? It's never a case of just get in the car and go. It's a right, okay, we need to plan where the stops are, we need to know where we're getting there, what time we're getting there, what time we're coming back, all that sort of stuff. Shelley Stewart has just said, what dreams may come, my dad's favorite film.
Oh yes,
I always imagine him in his own perfect heaven. There was a comment from Stace as well, Stace Shaw, about it being a place of your own making. And that is really, from my perspective, what the etheric realm, the astral plane is. Stace said, I think everyone's idea of heaven is personal, individual, whatever you find comforting and puts you at ease with transitioning. And it is that place of, like you said, with that hotel, that place of transition. But there's always that risk, isn't there, that we spend so much time wondering about what it is, we miss the obvious task of making it here first. I mean, let's face it, people say I'm a real hater of prayers by rote without putting meaning into them.
Me too.
Because if you do not say with conviction and know what you're saying and mean what you say, then you are not praying properly. And the Lord's Prayer is, on earth as it is in heaven, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. In other words, make heaven on earth now. Get over yourself. Stop fighting about what it looks like. Stop fighting about what my name is. Stop fighting about how to say thank you and God bless you, and just get on with making it a happy place. Kelly Roquette's comment's a good one. People always speak of the afterlife being peaceful, but who is to say it's not uncomfortable? Like a caterpillar going through a metamorphosis, it could be a time of growth before we have our time on earth again. And
who knows? Who knows?
I mean, let's face it, your example about that film with Meryl Streep, that hotel, that transitioning place, that place where we go to be healed, to learn, to view our life and see what, I don't think watching my life is going to be that comfortable.
No, absolutely. When you sort of think, you probably think, oh God, I know what bit's coming up. You know, it could cause emotions, it could cause, it could cause discomfort, and especially, and in the film, you have like an advocate, and they like a lawyer, and they say, well, why did you do that then? And they put you on the spot, you see. And Albert Brooks plays a guy that's been running from things all his life, and he's always been moaning and groaning about life, and felt that he should have had more than he did, and things like that. And there was some really awkward, funny moments in it as well. But while he's in this transition, of course, he has a bit of an awakening and realizes he wished that he'd had it when he was on Earth. So it's a good film to watch. And in fact, I saw it at the beginning of my journey into spiritualism, and I'm going to watch it again because there's a really funny bit in it, Nick, which really made me laugh. There's all these people sitting in a restaurant, and they've got about 6 pieces of chocolate cake in front of them, and they're all chomping away at the chocolate cake, and they're going, no calories here. So it just
brilliant. So
that cracked me up. I thought, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think do we put too much expectation and too much hope in heaven being the be all and end all of a beautiful existence without acknowledging the fact that that transition is going to be difficult. You're not going to have the physical touch of the, as much as we mourn the passing of the
Yeah.
physical, the passee will mourn the fact that they don't have that physical connection. They will mourn that they don't have the taste of strawberries without, with the, because it's a physical thing.
Yeah, it
So
is.
there is going to be gain and loss in the afterlife,
Yeah.
in that higher realm of existence. And I think we put so much pressure on it that it becomes that easy answer of, oh, everything will be all right when we get there, without thinking, but why don't we make it right now?
Exactly. I mean, I want to look back at my video and think, wow, that was a great ride. I really enjoyed myself. I met some fantastic people. I made some great memories. I had love in my life. People cared about me, you know. And this is why it always makes me laugh when when I was a child, I went to, I'm going to show my age now. I went to the Tutankhamun exhibition that was in the British Museum with my mum. And there was all these beautiful things, all these gold and, loads of stuff that was put in the pyramids when the Egyptians, they wanted to take their packages like that, for the afterlife. And I thought to myself, and when I look back on that, I'm thinking, oh wow! And of course, it never went, did it? It stayed in the pyramid. It was just the spirit that goes on. And they must have got there and thought, well, where's my gold?
Oops.
Where's
Yeah.
where's my stuff? What's happened? And they're sort of standing there, with nothing but their spirit. And of course, everything else is in the pyramid, waiting to be pillaged or whatever by everybody else. But they did leave a legacy about what life was like in that time so that we could understand the history. But it makes it just wonder what they must have thought when they got over the other side and thought, hang on a minute, this wasn't supposed to be like this.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. And Eunice's comment, absolutely right. Curiosity is human nature, and the only thing we will never know until we get there. Completely.
absolutely. Yeah.
And when you were talking, and when I was reading Eunice's comment, I was reminded by spirit of a good way of thinking about it is, even though we try and have this view, think about when you book a holiday.
Yeah.
You look on the internet, you look in the catalogs, you look at
Yeah.
the pictures of the hotel, you look at the pictures of the place, you look at all the different things that you can do there. When you get there, looks nothing like it. The pictures don't do it justice. Pictures can never convey the same
That's right.
experience and depth of actually being there. So yes, it is human nature for us to want to know where we're going, but even that glimpse that we get of an example of what it may be, it's still going to be nothing in comparison
Yes.
to
Very
the
true.
depth.
Yeah. Very true. Yeah.
Stace has just said, and I'd love to hear your response to this. I feel we overthink what it is we want in heaven rather than just what we expect it to be, which will lead to disappointment. Nothing on earth is as we expect. His heaven isn't any different.
You're probably right, Stace. I mean, gosh, my life wasn't as I expected it to be, but I've had amazing points. I've had an amazing life, but it wasn't as I thought it would be. I think you have bumps in the road that you have to decide to go on to. And maybe it's the same when we get to the spirit world. In fact, a president of the church that I used to belong to, he came back in a message, not to me, but to a friend in the circle. And he actually said in the message, it's not as you think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it probably isn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know
I can,
what? We've just got to wait and see and be patient.
yeah, absolutely. And make the most of, as you said, what we've got now. I'll never forget, because I was a nosy. Oh, yeah. 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 So Richard has just posed a really, really good
Mm.
point. Based on everything we've just said, Richard had just said, how do we feel when people say, I know what heaven looks like? And I don't know what your view is, Karen, but from my perspective, I go back to my example of when we have these meditations, these visions, these trips, these NDEs, you're actually going to the halfway house, which is a representative of the physical realm to help us
Mm,
transition. It
mm.
is a level of existence. All levels are interpenetrating. So it is part of heaven, but it's like looking at a hotel and knowing what the rooms look like by looking at the front door.
Mm.
So I can explain it, but that's for people to have their own opinions. But
Exactly.
my view, what I've been given by spirit explains the reason why people say that. But it does bother me when people try and own God and own heaven.
Again, it's human nature. People will have their own take on it. And I've learned over the years that you cannot say, no, you don't, or no, you don't understand.
Yeah,
Because that is their understanding of that moment in their life. So I just go, that's lovely.
yeah,
I don't want to spoil anybody's view or
no,
perception of what they feel, because that perception and that view is probably helping them through maybe a difficult time on earth or whatever. So I just say, how wonderful. That's
yeah.
lovely.
I
Because,
will.
you know,
If I before you move on though, I will just your thoughts on this. Do you not find, though, that as mediums who have been made aware that all people see what they need, as my favorite saying, the mind sees what it needs to see, but the soul sees what the soul sees. Don't you think we have a responsibility, though, to gently encourage a more open view that there are other ways of thinking? I mean, when it comes to one of the things that really bugs me in this world is that religion get blamed for everything.
true.
Religion evil, religion evil. Well, it wasn't religion that started World War II and 80 million people died during that. Religion was a victim of World War II,
Mm.
and so many other religions are victims of wars because people want power, they want land, they want ownership. It's not about the religion. You can pick up a shovel and dig a hole and stop something from flooding, or you can hit someone over the head with it. And I think what we have a responsibility to do is, in the right way, of course, and in the gentlest possible way, explain that is wonderful and that is what your view of heaven is. And that's probably going to be something like it, but don't get too attached because it will be even bigger, even bolder, even better.
Well, that's sort of what I do, because I say, that's wonderful, that's great, that's your opinion. But how do you feel about this? What's your take on that? So I give them something to think about. It's
Yeah.
planting that seed,
Yes.
you know,
Absolutely.
rather than, I think what's happened in the past, Nick, with religion is everybody thinks that their religion is the best one in the world and everybody should be part of that religion.
Yeah.
But the problem is people have their own thoughts and their own views and their own things that they've been brought up with, and that's bedded deep within them. I mean, if you
Absolutely.
think about it, I was, a lot of us before we became spiritualists probably were Christians or Catholic or Methodist or whatever. So that's still very sort of ingrained in you. I went to a Church of England school, and we went to church as part of the assembly once a week.
Yeah.
So, and we had assemblies every day. So that's very much part of it. So, but what you can do is give them a different perspective and make them look at things in a different way, and then allow them to evolve and grow in their own natural way. So you drop that seed instead of saying, no, you've got this.
Yeah,
This is the way.
absolutely.
This is the way.
Absolutely.
You're wrong. Because if you say to somebody you're wrong, it
Yeah.
deflates them.
Oh no,
And
absolutely.
yeah, so you've just got to drop these little seeds. And
But
that's what I do.
but likewise, of course, we can't not share our perspective
Absolutely.
too, because
Yeah.
each perspective adds to the nourishment of that particular
Definitely.
image that is being created for people.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm like yourself. I went to a Church of England school. I was really, really lucky because our local vicar that came to the school was as mad as a hatter. I think I
Mm,
might have took after him. He inspired me, that's for sure. And
mm,
so I was deeply lucky. But it is so, one of the things that that you're absolutely right about, that sense of ownership and being right. I have been told by people who claim to be spiritualists and spiritual, you can't call this now. I know a lot of people who don't believe spiritualism as a religion. A lot of them come to my church, and I don't have a problem with it
mm,
because they don't say, well, you can't call it a religion.
mm.
But there are people who will sit there and say, well, I'm spiritual as a spiritualist. Religion is evil and religion is bad. Being spiritual is about being open to other people's views. I mean, you are now contradicting yourself. And that's where I get grumpy.
Yeah, I know.
Last Sunday, I had a wonderful debate about whether spiritualism is a religion or not. And it was great because everyone respected each other's viewpoint,
That's the thing.
listened to each other's viewpoint. And I'm really, really lucky at Little Port. I've got a wonderful group of people around me that come to these physical workshops, that
Mm,
not physical mediumship, but physical as in we're together
yeah,
workshops. And
yeah.
we are all respectful of each other's views, but add to each other's reviews rather than just sit there and say, well, I'm not going to say anything and I'm not going to share my truth because, you know, I don't want to offend. I'd much rather share my truth in a polite way. And I
Absolutely.
think sometimes we don't learn to share our thoughts in a polite way, which leads to exactly what you were saying. Well, no, you're wrong.
Yeah. We've got to start listening.
Yes.
You know, we've got to start listening to all different perspectives and all different points of view. Otherwise, our religion, our wonderful spiritualism, which we both believe in, won't evolve and move forward. You know, we've got to start listening and coming together and being a little bit more united in our thoughts, I think, you know.
Yes, I
So,
completely agree with you.
yeah,
And I think the world would be a much better place if we stopped the blame game and the perspective of I'm right, you're wrong, and all of this stuff, because it's a vicious circle
well,
that
it's
we
been
never
going
end.
on for centuries, you know, it's been
Yes,
going on for centuries. And I think the time has come where it's got to stop. Whether it will in our lifetime, I don't know.
we should do our best to try though.
Absolutely. And the thing is, it can start with you. It can
Yeah,
start with one person.
yeah.
So it can.
Say enough.
Mm,
Um, you know, and a beginning is made. You know,
yes.
um, Leonard has just asked an absolutely heartbreaking but
Oh, bless him.
beautiful question. Leonard has just said, and I send my thoughts out to you, my friend. I lost my wife 38 days ago. Would it be too soon to hear from Beryl? The simple answer is it's never too soon.
No.
You know, it depends on what they're up to, how they're getting on, what the transition was like, how they're developing, how they're growing, how they're feeling, if they're being looked after. But there's also this really important thing that matters more. If they want to,
Yes.
they
Yeah.
will find a way. You said about sitting watching people pass.
Mm,
I sat next to my dad as he passed, and I saw the door open up, and I saw him go through the door. Obviously, based on what I've said previously today, that's my physical understanding
yes.
process of that was happening.
Yeah.
If you want to go slightly less physical, he was uploaded onto the mainframe,
Mm,
and I watched that. And I was really, really grumpy and really, really down. And I went into the waiting room and I stood looking into the window. It was the night time. I was looking into the window, so it was like a hazy mirror. And I looked up, and he was just stood behind me, frowning at me, saying, "I just thought I'd come back and say, get over it and get on. You've got a lot of work to do. See you later." And that was about 30 minutes.
do you know what, Nick? It's funny you should say that because um, I I know that the spirit world want us to live,
Yeah,
and Leonard, my heart goes out for you. It really does. It's so hard when you lose someone. Yeah, that and she would have known that. She would have known that. She would have known that you've held her hand. And when you sit with somebody and they pass, in some ways some ways it's hard, but in other ways it's release, because you don't want that person to be ill, you don't want that person to be poorly anymore. But just know that they're with loved ones in the spirit world and they're being looked after. And also they know that you were there. They would have heard what you said. I've had messages from mediums where my sister and I had this conversation when my mum was going in and out of consciousness. It was funny, really. And me and my sister were talking about what it was like when she was growing up and what it was like when I was growing up, because there's 15 years between me and my sister. And something came back in a message about what was said. And the only other person that was in that room was my mum, and me and my sister. And it was just, and I'm thinking, oh, so she did understand what was going on and she did hear what we were talking about. And of course, we said how much we loved her and we were talking about funny stories. But the spirit world want us to live our life and to do all the things that you plan to do together, because they sort of keep an eye on us. And they want us to live our lives. But sending lots of healing to you, Leonard, because it's a tough time. It's hard to come to terms with it, but it's lovely to have you as part of the show today. So thank you for joining us.
If I may, Leonard, just very, very briefly, because I can't help myself when I see someone in pain, I try my best to help. I've got a couple of bits of information for you, Leonard, that I was just asking my friends upstairs to help me with for you. I am aware that you, I mean, it's written on the screen. I held her hand as she passed. There was something else that you did beforehand, because I feel like there was either something at the back of the neck or the shoulder, something a bit uncomfortable, and you adjusted either the pillow or her, just to help with that comfort. I'm getting the whiff. I got a smell, and it's something that I recognize, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I think it's something along the lines of coal tar soap, that kind of fragrance that I have to give, and also something about a finger being squeezed. A finger being squeezed. So I know you said you held her hand, but I don't know whether you squeezed one of her fingers or she tried to squeeze one of yours, and you massaged her neck, Leonard.
Oh.
So please know that she is. That I'm not gonna throw the usual, saccharine spiel. You are suffering from grief,
Yeah.
and it's a process that sadly you must experience. But please remember that even though that feeling of the physical loss never goes away, you get better at managing it. You certainly have so many fond memories to share with her. Remember the good times, remember the laughs, remember the times that you made fun of her, you made fun of her brooches and necklaces, and the time that she made fun of your wide tie. Remember the good times and the giggles, and that will. I took her ring off for the very first time in our 61 years of marriage.
Oh,
And 61 years is longer than some people's lives. It's a long time. You haven't fully lost her. She will be there behind you, swearing and cursing at you and telling you to get on with it, just like my dad did. But I can tell you that even though it hurts, I'm going to pose this question for anyone who's lost anyone, and this is by no means to negate the pain. In actual fact, it's about the pain. The weight of the pain of the loss, would you trade that for the 61 years of joy? And of course the answer would be no, because you are who you are because of those. When you squeezed her finger, bless you, thank you, Leonard. Would you trade that? Of course you wouldn't, because you are who you are because of her. You are who you are because of that experience. And so we would never, ever, ever trade the pain for that experience. And sadly, the price of love is loss. But what we come here to do and give bits of information passed on by my friends and helpers is to try and give evidence and proof that this is not the end. And when you have done your time of learning and growing and experiencing who you are as this person, in a number of years, you will be reunited in a different form, in a different way, and you will be able to go to the places that you never got to go. You will be able to see everyone growing up behind you, thinking exactly the same as what she is about you now. Don't give up on life. Don't give up on love, and never, ever give up on hope, because hope might be meager sometimes. And I've never known hope when it's not on a diet. But I do know that hope is eternal. No matter how small a glimmer of light, you can still see it from a mile away. So, Leonard, please, please, please take my healing and love. And I know that this information was passed on through my guides. It wasn't her because I didn't feel her, but I can ask. And sometimes they will answer. So, Leonard, I hope that's all right for you as a Kickstarter, and may your journey be blessed with fond memories and laughter of the times that you did enjoy and share together. So I'll say God bless you, mate.
Oh, that was lovely, Nick, and I hope.
Oh, and yeah. Speaking of healing, please can everyone send healing to Bill Hughes? He will not be on this Thursday. He's poorly. So please send your loving thoughts to Leonard Bennett and Bill Hughes, and of course to Karen from the shopping channel. So yeah.
Lots of healing needed out there as well, I think, at the moment.
It certainly is. Certainly is. Yes. And for the benefit of everyone at home, you're going to have some messages of your own. For the benefit of us, I'm going to take a breather and nip to the little boys' room and then listen to my horoscope afterwards, because it's now time for Kate May. So, Karen, what's the phrase?
Roll the VT.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your week ahead tarot readings for the 16th of October 2023. My name is Kate May, Modern Day Mystic. You can find me on katemay.co.uk. Aries, let's have a look at what you've got going on, Aries. It's the Queen of Cups. Be gentle with yourself this week, Aries. Nurture yourself. Take time to pamper yourself even. You might find that you could open a can of worms. Things could be a little bit emotional for you. So this week it's time to take a step back, keep a lid on your emotions and be in control of things around you. Now, family matters or emotional matters might get the better of you this week, Aries, so it's important that you keep your calm, okay, and deal with things in a sensitive, mature manner. Put yourself first, pamper yourself, treat yourself, take a little bit of time of care for you. Taurus, the Hierophant, your own card. Don't do anything different this week, Taurus. Keep doing what you're doing. You could be working through projects. You could be working through order. It's the last week of school before the half term for many of you. So this is just keep doing what you're doing and follow those rules, regulations. Stick to routines. Don't try anything new. Stick to tried and tested methods. Follow what feels comfortable for you. Anything to do with groups and social aspects is going to be a good week for you, Taurus. Okay, Gemini, Page of Pentacles. There is some news ahead around money or property, Gemini. Now, this has potential. So it's an idea or an offer or an opportunity. It might take a little bit more to make that manifest, make that into form, but there is good options and good ideas and opportunities. The possibility around financial abundance is there this week for you, Gemini. Cancer, speak your truth. This is the week where you might need to clear the air with someone or a situation that's been bubbling around or that's been on your mind and kind of like blocking you a little bit. So this is the week where you'll need to clear the air. Not everyone likes to hear the truth, Cancer, but sometimes it's got to be done. Clear the air, say your piece, and you will feel a lot better for it. Be firm. This is Libra, so be firm but fair. Be fair. You don't have to bite everyone's head off, but something needs to be addressed, Cancers. Okay, Leo. It's a rest week, Leo. As that season changes, the air changes. This is time to put your feet up. My cat's trying to get in. Put your feet up, take some time out, step back from things. You could be coming up to quite a busy period, Leo, so taking a break now will give you a chance to reserve your energy for the next season's busyness. Anything that's bothering you, take a step back. It's drama, take a step back. Don't do anything. Put life on hold at the moment. Pause yourself. Virgo, you're walking away from what no longer serves you. Now, this would be something that you've already thought about, that you've already kind of been thinking for a little while. Is this the path you're really wanting to do? Is that the person you really want to be around? So this card indicates it's now the week to walk away from what no longer serves you, Virgo. Turn your back on things that are just draining you or don't emotionally fulfill you, because there's something new and exciting. Now, spiritually, Virgos, you could be stepping up. You could be going into new alignment of things, perhaps working with a new guide or wanting to understand things on a spiritual nature a little bit more. You're finding yourself a bit more here, Virgo. Okay, Libra. Battles this week, Libra. Try not to get involved with any drama. Step back from things. But remember, opinions are just that, opinions. Let everyone talk. Let everyone listen to each other. Someone's trying to speak and not being heard. Is it you or is it somebody else? There's a need to avoid confrontations but listen to everyone's opinions. Scorpio, Hermit. Take some time out this week. Reflect. Meditate, take some time to think about all your hopes and dreams, things that you really want to do and be. This is the week to go within. This is the week to be quiet. Perhaps spend some time on your own there. But meditation and time out, introspection is going to be really good and beneficial for you this week, Scorpios. Go within, all the answers are there. Sagittarius, it's time to get moving, especially with your money. Slow and steady wins the race. Anything on a work base, anything on a financial material, you're starting to make headway this week. Saggies, it's time to invest, it's time to commit. If you want things to happen, action is there this week for commitment and moving forward. Might be slow, but like I said, slowly wins the race. Capricorn, the lovers. Communication is going to be very important this week. Capricorn, you might find that you are connecting to someone or a relationship that's going to be stronger, deeper. You could find that you're going to meet the one. Keep your options clear. Be open and honest with your communication. Aquarius, Three of Wands, plan ahead. Practical things, exciting things, holidays, there's planning ahead for you. I've got to be quick. It's exciting, you're reaching milestones. Pisces, try to get some help where you can. Don't struggle on your own. The time's running out. So don't struggle.
Thank you to the lovely Kate May. There she is, bless her heart. And we're back.
We are, yes.
And a hello to Sarah Warman from Richard. He's just received your message. So hello from Richard in the background there, chatting away in our ears as he does. Thank you all for staying with us. Don't forget to share, to let people know that we are here. And I'd just like to say, although, as I say frequently, we can't see all of the comments and the conversations going on in the background. Richard can, and it's a sign of the beauty of the family of SPTV.
It's so nice.
Conversation going on right now. So thank you, fam. We love you.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Hello, Shayla from Australia.
Hello, Shayla. How lovely. All the way from Australia. Oh, exciting.
It must be about 8 o'clock, 8 or 9 o'clock for you by now, you know.
Yes.
And Emma Gregory's joining us.
Lots of love hearts. Thank you, Emma.
Because of the
Roll Richard. Oh, that's good. Oh, that is nice.
Wonderful VT phrase.
I don't know.
So, we were, of course, talking, and a reminder, please. Please send healing to Leonard, to Karen for the shopping show, and Bill Hughes, please.
Yeah.
Put them in your books. I've got a book down here.
Yeah.
I've got my own little. I've just pushed it underneath the table now. I've got a healing book down there that I write names in as I go, as well as the church one. It's always handy to have a healing book.
Do you know what? Funny you should say that. Look, there's healing books in churches. I used to have one when I did my physical circle. I've got one as well. And it's quite amazing how healing works, because there's many people that have their names put in books and thoughts sent out in services, and they don't even know.
Yeah.
They don't even know, because those fit those feelings. But there's been some amazing stories in the past of how healing has helped.
Yes.
People have got better. People have got better much quicker. Or tumours have shrunk. Or there's so many wonderful healing stories out there.
There is.
Yeah.
And even on the outside of it, just to, because I know there are varied views about healing as well, and I'm sure as I pause in a moment, Richard will share his view as well. He's got a comment coming. I know it's brewing. The one thing about healing, you don't have to believe in spiritual energy transfer healing for it to work. However, I also find to know that people actually give a stuff about you enough to take that time out to write down your name in a book will have healing benefit too. Your name, I will add again into my book, Kaza. Kaza needs healing, please.
Mm-hmm.
And just to know that people care is going to give that uplift as well. And healing is of the mind. And here we go. We're going off on a tangent now. I know
we are.
Healing is of the mind, the body, and the spirit. And when we cannot provide healing for the body because it's just not possible, that healing of the mind and the healing of the spirit is even more essential. Don't you think?
I do. But also sometimes healing can come in different ways.
Yes.
Sometimes, yes, we send prayers and healing thoughts out to people. But you know what? Sometimes coming together with somebody and having a natter with a cup of tea and just spending time blending together can also be healing. So that's why I think when people are in hospital, especially if they haven't got a lot of family or their family's away, seeing people, or even being in touch with other people's relatives. I know when my mum was in hospital, she'd get to know all the people in the ward's relatives, and they'd get to know her. And I think it's important that we keep in touch physically as well as virtually as well.
Yes.
And, when we had lockdown, people became more isolated, which affected their mental health. And I think it's important that you just reach out, even if you send a text and say, do you fancy meeting for a coffee when you're not so busy? And I think it's really important that we reach out and make sure that people are okay. I really do.
Absolutely, 100% with you. So is Rebecca Whelan. Hello, my darling.
Hello, Rebecca.
Rebecca says, spot on, Karen. Yeah, I'm with you. It is about. It does tie in with what we was talking about making heaven on earth now by connecting. One thing I've learned over the last 2 weeks is that the two key words that matter the most in humanity, more than ever, is connection and acceptance.
Yep, I'm with you on that one. Yeah,
connection and acceptance make a world, an ocean of difference. And healing is such a very wide-ranging field, a very wide-ranging ability within this way of life.
It is.
And there's the proof of the pudding. Kelly Rocket says, I paid so much attention to healing my mind, I neglected my body. Mind, body, and spirit is interconnected.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think a lot of people come into churches because of grief, and the first thing that they need is healing. And they can receive the healing from the lovely healers that work in churches. They can receive the healing from receiving the message just to say, I'm okay. I've arrived safely. I'm all right. All is well. And I mean, you may not remember this, Nick, but I can remember going on holiday, queuing up for a phone box, just ringing to my mum and saying, I'm home, I'm here. The journey was okay, and we used to send little postcards halfway through the week. Wish you were here, having a great time. Weather's fab or weather's not so good or whatever, and you'd get that card through the post box, and you'd see the picture of the place and those little words, and you go, oh, they're having a good time. So it puts your mind at rest. And as a mum, you know, that's important. So when my son goes away, wherever he is, on his travels, because he travels all over the world, I know from Facebook where he is and that he's all right. He'll send me a text and say, I'm okay, Mum. But now, of course, I can have video chats with him all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just that connection, isn't it, to know that
Absolutely.
that person's okay.
And just for the record, I do remember those days, because whenever I went out, I was always told to make sure I got 20p in my pocket so I didn't have to reverse the charges. And the irony is, of course, when you would send a postcard back in those days, it had actually arrived before you did.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. It is absolutely about connecting with people. And I find that sometimes there's a magic word that starts that healing process. As you walk into a church or a center or a group or a gathering of any particular kind, there is a magic word that has the ability to start that healing process. Hello.
Exactly. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Welcome. Come in, sit down. Kitchen's over there. Help yourself. Gather round, chat. Is there anything you want to know? And make people feel like they are welcome.
Yes.
You know.
It is, because it's hard sometimes for somebody to come into a church that they might not be a church sort of person. They might have heard things and been a bit afraid, or they don't know what to expect, you know. Morning, Noel. I think that's really important, that we have to welcome and smile. Do you know what? That's a good thing. Smile at people.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. You know, the irony is we always do things in churches in a certain way, and when you do it slightly differently, sometimes you get laughed at. And in relation to healing, I had that experience, and that laughter sometimes turned to, maybe we should be a little bit more open to weirdness. I hadn't been in the church very long, and I was invited to chair. That was part of my development.
Yes.
You can chair. So I stood up, and I said, of course, we've got the Absent Healing book, if you'd like to put names in it before and after the service. However, if you have an emergency during the week, it's kept at blah, 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 Victoria Street, Littlepool. And my mentor, Lynn, she won't mind me saying this, she laughed at me. And she went, how's an emergency? 3 days later, there was a phone call. Something had happened to one of her relatives or friends, I believe. And she just sat there and remembered what I said. And it was an emergency. And she said, I'm going to write your name in the book. It's an emergency. And she told that story a week later. Never laugh, because these things that we say that might sound a bit daft, and of course I always say things in a slightly daft way, the daftness of random comments are spirit reaching.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Richard, for everyone at home, Richard just said, "What's my excuse then?" No, yeah.
Well, you might be spirit led, Richard. You know.
I genuinely think he is. I genuinely think he is, and I've got to say that the message I had a few weeks ago from our AI colleague Jake was on the nose. The reading that Richard gave me when we were out one day, on the nose. So you know, might very well be that you are a vessel and conduit of spirit communication, Richard. And he's now going to slap me whilst we have our adverts. So for the second time today, what's that phrase, Karen?
Roll the VT.
Oh. Yes. Right. Right. I love this. Oh, wonderful. Right. So the phrase is roll 'em, Richard. Type it, send it. So type it out and get ready to press send. Everyone who's watching, just type roll 'em, Richard. And after 3, Karen's going to say it. I'm going to say it. You press send and send it.
Let's see what happens.
1, 2, 3.
Roll 'em, Richard.
Join us at the Bognor Regis Spiritualist Centre for a captivating mediumship demonstration on Saturday the 11th November from 7:30 p.m. Experience an evening of connection with the spiritual realms, featuring the talents of Bill Hughes, David Hale and Caroline Johnson. For more information and to book tickets, please visit bognorspiritualistcentre.co.uk.
Nadija Bajami, a proficient strategic hypnotherapist, mind coach, grief educator, accomplished Reiki master, and gifted psychic medium, extends a warm invitation to join us on an exploration during a 4-week introductory mediumship course. As a special privilege, this extraordinary opportunity is being offered to our esteemed VIP members without any associated costs. Immerse yourself in the art of refining your innate talents and finding balance in communion with the realm of spirits. The course begins on Sunday, November 5th, at 7 p.m. via Zoom, and details will be placed in the VIP lounge. For more information on becoming a VIP, visit sptv.uk. The SPTV Divine Guidance Oracle Pack, a unique blend of inspiration and artistic beauty. Our captivating set of 78 cards combines the power of ancient archetypes, celestial guidance, and the essence of life itself to provide you with a unique tool for self-discovery, clarity, and transformation, all lovingly housed within an exclusive rigid box. The pack includes a booklet that delves into every card in detail, some of which carry dual meanings for deeper interpretation. The booklet also features 8 distinctive card spread layouts. Among these treasures, you'll discover 22 major arcana, 9 main archangels, 4 elements, and 40 life cards, each a work of art, radiating beauty and delivering profound messages that resonate deeply within your being. The SPTV Divine Guidance Pack, where beauty meets enlightenment. Pre-order today and unlock the extraordinary wisdom that awaits you. To be among the pioneers in experiencing our forthcoming collection and to reserve your pack in advance, as well as to access more details, including a sample audio description, kindly visit sptv.uk/cards.
A demonstration of mediumship with Deb Clark is on tonight. Deb will be offering free mediumship readings to our viewers from 8 p.m. Tomorrow night from 8 p.m, our popular show, Live with Spirit, offers the opportunity for different readers, each week to demonstrate their psychic and mediumship abilities.
We're back! We're back! We're back! We're back! Oopsie! In fairness, I did have a 3-second warning. Welcome back, everyone. Moving swiftly on to a gentle reminder, of course, that tomorrow we have the new show at 6 p.m. With the wonderful Diet and Jessica. And of course, following hotly on from that at 8 p.m, the gorgeous, the wonderful, the divine Deb Clark, joining you all to bring you upliftment messages, love and laughter. Pardon? Oh, so Di and Jessica is 6 tomorrow. Deb's tonight. I do apologise, of course, because Karen's not on tonight. I keep getting my days mixed up. It's one of them.
I know.
Yeah. But it's because I'm just so excited because, of course, don't forget, you've just seen the advert, the Divine Oracle cards. Okay, Carrie Kearns, you guys.
I know we're crazy, Carrie, but we
You
love
should
it.
see
We
the
love it.
behind the scenes footage, love. You really should. Although having said that, if you're about on the 25th of November, you know, you might see something. You'll certainly see a different side of me. I'll let that one boil away.
Sounds
But
interesting.
it's so exciting with so much going on. Don't forget that oh yes, of course, Pauline, Roldham, Richard. We're going to have to do that every week.
I think we are. Yes, new thing. Oh,
thing.
Bev's doing it. Jen's saying Roland Richard. Oh, well done, everybody.
Yes.
This is going to be a new thing. Thanks, Tiffany. Yep. Yep.
Wow. Flooded with Rollums.
Oh, look, lots of.
Nicola,
I think we're brightening everybody's morning, which is fantastic, isn't it?
You know, and that's really what it should be all about. Speaking of brightening,
Ooh.
you know, 2024 is just around the corner.
Oh, I know. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
The new year comes, and this is why we were so excited. You see,
yes.
With a new year comes a new look. A refreshing of the Richard likes to update things. We spoke about, you know, the fact that Jake's kind of like 2.0, and he's also working on someone else to work with him as well. You know, we've got the app coming, new shows coming through, like for instance tomorrow at 6 p.m. with Di and Jessica. But 2024 is going to bring a new look,
yes.
a refresh, a polish, and isn't it exciting, Karen? Because this is the world exclusive
preview
2024 SPTV branding. Over to you, my good friend Richard. Oh, and everyone can still hear us, of course. So look at that. Oh,
wow! Look at that. Doesn't it look all sparkly and?
It does.
Really, oh, I don't know, it's just got something about it. Something about it.
Shining.
Absolutely. It's standing out. It's a lovely brand.
If I was sitting in circle right now and I was told to read that as a symbol, it's about building, it's about growth, it's about upliftment, and about shining the light in. And that is, of course, what SPTV has been doing ever since its beginnings, and that's what it will continue to do into 2024. So
absolutely,
long may she reign, and I love that. Debbie Callow says, Richard, you gave me a reading and the way you delivered it lifted me for the first time since my son passed. Thank you. See, Richard.
Very posh, isn't it, Deb? Lovely.
The only. And she, yeah, Richard's right. She's got a new photo as well on her profile.
Lovely.
Debbie likes it. Nicola loves it. You know, and it's just exciting. Stacey, that's really smart, excellent stuff. You know, it's exciting, isn't it, Karen?
It is, and the thing is, even though it's a new brand, but you just think we see it and we go, wow, it looks great. But think about all the work that's gone into it, all the work behind the scenes.
Absolutely, you know, and this is really, really important. That 5 seconds, is it 5-6 seconds, Richard? It's 10 seconds. 10 seconds of pure joy. All the effort that it took to get to that point. You know, I used to do stuff like that. I cheat these days, but I used to do stuff like that from hand as well. And you know, you're talking hours and hours of work per second. But who would have thought that 10 seconds would excite people so much? You know, I think it's brilliant. It is.
And I think I'm going to turn this a little bit to go back to what we were talking about. You know, we're here on earth and we're living this life, and sometimes our life can be, you feel like you're trudging through mud and it's not, you know, and it's tough. But when you go through it and you come out the other side and you realize the strength, the integrity, how you look at things differently, and also the word that you said, Nick, acceptance. And one of the big things that we have to do is accept ourselves. And that can sometimes be hard, because sometimes, especially I know when I was a teenager and when I was in my 20s, I used to look in the mirror and think, I don't really like this person. I wish I could change myself. I wish I could do this. I wish I could be like my mate, you know, my friend. But you can't. You're you. And I know these days we can change our look, we can change our hair, we can do all sorts of things now. But the thing that's most important that shines from you is your light within. And that beautiful light, that's what draws people to you at the end of the day. And all the things that we do, all the building blocks that we put in place, Richard doing this on SPTV, the building blocks that we do in our own individual families and our own individual relationships, you know, they are the memories. That is our legacy that we leave behind.
Absolutely. 100% with you, and you're absolutely right. I remember somebody once on that subject, somebody once turned to me and said, you can change your hair, you can change your makeup, you can change your clothes, but you can't change what's inside. And I said, actually, yeah, you can. It just takes a little bit more effort, because you're the only person that knows what that is and how to be the person that you want to be. But we should never stop endeavoring to try. And I'm so with you on that. And Kim, just going back to what we were talking about before, Kim Byrne has just said, I think if someone has an understanding of spirit before you pass, they're able to make contact easier, possibly quicker, as they understand the process from this side. I'm with you, Kim. What's your thought, Karen?
Yes, I do. But I also feel that, and I think there's lots of people behind the scenes helping. And those people that are a little bit tentative, that say, oh, I want to have a go, but, you know, to speak to my loved ones. But there's lots of people that are there to help and support. Like we have the churches, like we have the mediums here, they have the same in the spirit world. And so it's, you know, that's the way I look at it. I think I would imagine it's a bit like a military operation that goes on in the spirit world, you know. I'll just share a story with you. Years ago, we did a memorial service. We had lots of people passing in the church at the same time, and the church wanted to mark those people, to celebrate them, because they'd put a lot of time and effort into the church. So we had a little bit of a do, and the families came and people got up and spoke. And I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something on the lighter side. So I wrote a story about what it was like when they journeyed to the other side. And I used all bits of their characters. So a gentleman and who they met when they got there. So one lady that used to play the organ in our church, she looked like the Queen. And she had that persona about her. So I put in the story where she met the Queen Mother in the spirit world, and the Queen Mother thought that this lady was her daughter because she looked like the Queen. Then I put my friend Gwen in, and that she was in the spirit world, and she was doing belly dancing classes, and sort of, as you know, she's got a sparkly frock on and she's strutting her stuff. And then I had a little bit about the gentleman that used to be the president of the church and one of the founders of the church, and he was in the war room. He was sort of like in the sorting out who was in what church and where there's sort of all them doing the military operation. And it was quite funny, and I found it the other day, and I read it to myself, and I thought, you know, it was an interesting story. And I also put in about how everybody was eating cake in the spirit world from my memory of that film. And the weird thing was, I was talking about chocolate sponge and a Victoria chocolate cake and a Victoria sandwich, and that the lady that was played the organ, her and this other lady were sitting eating cake. The weird thing was, her daughter came to the memorial, and the cake that she brought was chocolate and a Victoria jam sponge.
Wow, brilliant.
So it was just a little. So we celebrated their life, and
Yeah.
You know, and I hoped that it left people thinking that their loved ones were in the spirit world, surrounded by other loved ones, and having a ball.
Absolutely, and I'm sure they were, absolutely still are. And you know, it should be about celebration and living. And I think if we can take anything from today, I think really it has been. I know we started off with what does heaven look like, but I think the true core theme is live life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you've just got to the irony of talking about, you know, Kim's comment, knowing or having someone there with us who knows how to do it to help us. You know, there is a real genuine irony and a deliberate irony of the way I talk about Richard being the voice in my ear, because he is in so many ways working like one of these behind the scenes guides that, you know, and you know, good politeness and manners, you know, requires that we acknowledge these people that help us from the world of spirit, which is why I always promote getting to know in some kind of personal level your guides, just so that you can understand them and they can understand you, but also so you can give them a little bit of credit. You know, the amount of people that work in spirit to facilitate the messages we give.
Yeah.
Deb, we're off to eat cake.
I've given messages where spirit have said we are off to eat cake. I think that's why people have cake after circle, Deb. I think that's probably why. Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that the voice in our ear has reminded us that there are connections awaiting.
Yes.
And so let's see. How do you want to do this, Karen? Do you want to start this week?
I don't mind. You can start if you want to. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm going to say I don't mind. So we're going to do the numbers method, Richard. You right doing the numbers?
Yeah, fine.
Pick it. Yeah, and unless you just want to chuck names up and we get drawn. Chuck names up. Chuck names up. How spiritual. Yes. So if you're a VIP, let us know. Say hello. We're going to do a VIP first, and then we will carry on random. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Dawny, bless her. Love watching you.
Thank you, Dawny. Thank you.
Love you, Dawny. Love you. Dawny comes all the way from the bottom half of the cheek of East Anglia to the middle of the cheek of East Anglia, where I live, to come to my workshops.
Oh, that's nice.
You know what? Challenge myself. I always shy away from people that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Dawny. Is she not? Oh, I'll do you later, love. Are you a VIP? Okay. Right. Okay, so pick a card. Pick a card. Helen of Troy, beauty. What's up with my focus today? Because I have turned it off. Helen of Troy there, bless her. As I link in for you, my darling, I am aware in this picture, thank you very much, that there is a need to hold on tight. A need to hold on tight. It's all about this sudden shift and change. Oh, okay. I don't know about this one. Over the last couple of days, there's been this sudden shifting change in your line of thought or the way you're feeling, and this is about you holding on tight. And you hold on tight. When you hold on tight, it's like you're bracing yourself. But this time it's hold on tight because we're in for some change, some uplift. And it's almost like you need to hold yourself steady, and you need to make sure that you are ready for this. You're ready for this? Da, 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 da. Because there is just so much going on around you at the moment that I would be aware of. but not in the way you're used to. So I do feel a shift in attitudes and behaviors. I do feel this acknowledgement of this change. But you, as we've been talking earlier on, you need to be the one that drives and steers. It's almost like you're on a boat. You know what? A punt. Thank you. I do live in Cambridgeshire. I should know that. You're on a punt and you're using the pole to steer yourself. And to begin with, you might be a little bit veering off here and there, but please, my lovely, do not forget that with practice comes perfection. And it's all about moving forward in this change with you being in control. There is the number 7 is important. 100% don't know which way is up at the moment. Thank you, Dawny. There is number 7 is important. So thank you. I know it's the 17th today, but I want to go to the 7th of November as being important as part of this process of transition and change. And I'm also very much aware as I look at this card that Helen of Troy, bless her, she's looking very austere. Thank you. There is a gentleman just popping in to say, change your face, love, because if the wind changes, you'll get stuck like that. So he would have been a gentleman who would have brought you upliftment and laughter, but also knew what you were thinking at all times. He is with you working on this at the moment, and I'll say God bless you and thank you for listening.
Oh, that was lovely. I've got a gentleman here, and I know that he's father. And I also know, because what we've been talking about, it's interesting how they step forward. But I also feel that this gentleman, his daughter was with him before he passed, and she watched him go. So is there anybody out there that had a father in the spirit world where the daughter watched him go? I also feel, because my chest has been a bit aggravated and it's been fine, I just feel there was obviously severe chest problems with this gentleman. Tony, can you understand this? Okay, that's lovely. I just feel that your father had this chest condition and it had been going on for some time, but I just feel that it was like he was a little bit frightened about going over to spirit. I feel that he was a little bit frightened and he kept thinking, I don't want to go. And I also feel some anxiety with him around the time when he was ill. And I feel that he's telling me that you were his guiding light. You were always there to help him and you had to calm him down quite a lot. And I feel that you were the only one in the family that he would listen to. So you understand this, Tony? You're saying yes, so that's good. It's like I can hear, he's telling me what you said. It's like, don't worry, Dad, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And I feel he's also making me aware here that you obviously had a knowledge that you tried to give him. You tried to give him hope, and you spoke to him about that all's going to be well when he passes over, because he wants to come back and say, yes, everything, he is okay, he's fine. And he just wants to say, oh, bless him. Oh, it took 3, I'm crying, he took 3 breaths before he died. It is very hard when you see that, Tony. My heart goes out to you. I completely understand that. But he wants you to know that he's fine. He's absolutely fine. And I feel that you said to him, tell me that you're okay. It's a bit like, that phone call, that I'm okay. Well, he's come back to say, I am okay. And I feel that with your dad, he lost a little bit of confidence before he passed, and also the run up. I feel his illness made him lose his confidence. It sort of took its toll on him. But he just wants you to know that he is absolutely fine now, and he wants to say thank you so much for keeping everybody afloat and looking after everybody. He's laughing. He said, you even tidied up all round the hospital bed and all round where the room. I feel he was in a room and you were folding up things and doing things for him and fluffing the pillows and making sure he had fruit, even though I feel he didn't eat a lot before he passed, because he's showing me those drinks. All right. He's showing me those drinks that that he could only drink, those like milky milkshake drinks that they give you, and I feel that I can see those around him. So I feel that that's because he did definitely have problems with swallowing as well. So he's just coming to say, I'm fine, I love you, and thank you for everything that you did.
Beautiful.
Ah,
Well, wonderful message. Brilliant. Bless your heart.
my
Fantastic.
pleasure. My pleasure.
Well done, Dole. Richard, I better put myself right, and may I have a VIP? I'm sure people have been commenting I'm a VIP by now, so show us a VIP, and I'll go for number 7 then, please. Deb, hello. It is a day for challenge. Oh, I better believe myself now. You know, there's nothing more terrifying than giving a medium that you respect and love a message.
I know.
But that's part of development, I suppose, that we must all remember that we've all been there. And you know, I'm sure she'll be kind on me. As I was linking in for whoever it was going to be, because I've got to say this gentleman that's stepping forward, he was always ahead of the game on everyone. Oh, bless. Tony said all his family interested in taking his stuff. I got his radio.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely.
Bless you. So this gentleman, he was always ready to, you know, get ahead of the game, always keen to step forward. I'm feeling a slight dizziness in my head, and oh my God, I knew I'd get a message. Bless you, Deb. And I'm feeling again that neck, throat, and chest sensation. I feel a bit of a naughty sense of humor building up with this gentleman, because he's referencing the dizziness and the throat as well. I was short of breath, weren't I? Because I didn't breathe anymore. So I know that this gentleman had a kind of, some would have called it dark, but he would have called it lightness to the physical passing. And I know this gentleman, as he steps forward, people would probably cringe when he joked about things like that. But as he comes closer still, I am aware that my whole chest is burning with this man. I'm not getting a relationship at the moment, which is unusual for me, but maybe I'm just being pushed and tested. Ha ha ha. So Deb, if you can no, hang on. Stepdad, thank you. This naughty sense of humor, I do feel had a bit of an impact on you. I know you're a very sensible lady, and I know you're a very straightforward lady, but you have got this mild naughty sense of humor. He says it's nothing in comparison to mine, and she did pull a funny face at me from time to time. You know, it's a bit too soon, that kind of behaviors and interactions. But as he comes closer, he's just reminding me, of course, it all washes away. It all washes away. And I can actually feel, it feels like I'm standing in a waterfall. So I don't know whether this is symbolic for you or a memory link of, it's just like I'm getting absolutely soaked and I've got water coming down all over me. You know what is it? Thank you. So I just got to share that with you. And as he pushes himself further forward, because he was always there as, thank you, of course you do, you good. Yeah, okay. He's a reminder. He's reminding me of all of the stuff that I was starting to talk about and got sidetracked, because he's saying you're a magpie, you are. So he was quite happy to tell people what he thought, and he was always quite happy to, you know, share his opinion with people. Offend or please, at least I'm honest, which is absolutely right, of course. But he's reminding me of when he first linked in about always being there early, always being there on early. And I feel that was probably a pop, because thank you, he's talking about you running late for something in the last couple of days, and he's just having a bit of a giggle. I do feel very dry with him, because as the message goes further, I always try to push towards the emotional side, and he's drying up. So I know that it means that he wasn't always the best at sharing that emotional connection. But I have got to say that there is an inner, because if you remember, I said I can't feel the relationship right now, and it's because he didn't always know how to feel himself. He was very he didn't care what he said. Thank you, Deb. It's not that he didn't feel, it's just that he didn't know how to express it as well as others. And I've got to do that, nudge nudge, wink wink. But he's just saying here, he sits here and watches you, and he's just so overjoyed at the courage and strength that you have. I've got to be very careful what I say right now, because I don't want to, give away too much in a public forum. But he's saying, for every one thing that you say publicly about your experiences, there are at least another 10 things even heavier either going on or have gone on. And the fact that you bless you, my friend, that's a kind thing to say. He's like me, tries hiding feelings. Gotcha. He's telling me that the fact that you are even standing up and smiling is an absolute credit to your strength. Oh, bless you. I only went 3 months ago. Bless you, my darling. So I know it's still quite raw, but what he's saying is the fact that you are standing and smiling is a credit to your strength. And stop. I mentioned about always being nervous about giving other mediums a message. He's just said, stop underestimating yourself and stop doubting yourself. I'm not talking about the mediumship per se here. I'm talking about life. You are a force of nature, he's saying. You are a force of nature, and absolutely keep moving forward. You've had a couple of ideas in the past couple of weeks that you've toyed with, and he says it's like one of that last little bit of food on the plate that you don't want to eat. She shuffles it around and pushes it around and pretends she's eating it. You're toying with your ideas like that. He says, no, stick your fork in and grab a good old gobful, and just bite into the meal of life a little bit more. However, okay, yeah. Do try and get. I seem to keep giving everybody this advice this week, but not through mediumship. But this is the first one through mediumship. Get some more sleep, will you, darling? That will help your neck. And I'll say, I give you all of his love. And as of course, yes. As he starts to step back, thinking about moving, we'll bite into it. The voice in the other side, the other side of my ear, again. Oh wow, thank you. He was trying to put a flower on my chest for you, but it's actually a flower shape, but made of amethyst, as just a parting gift. And I believe there's some kind of memory link or connection there for you. Or at least symbolically there. So I'll leave you with all of his love, Deb, of which, in spite of his difficult to say it, it's there. And thank you. I didn't sleep last night and have a neck ache. Bless you all. There you go. He's watching. He's got your back. He's got your back. So I'll say God bless you, my darling, and thank you for working with us.
Oh, that was so lovely, Nick. Absolutely beautiful. I'm getting all emotional when you connect with the spirit world. You're sort of touching me, it's really lovely. I'm aware of a gentleman here, and I know that he's a big guy because I felt myself getting bigger as I was sitting here. and I know that there's connecting to building, because I got Bob the Builder. So I don't know if his name's Bob and he was a builder, or if he's a builder and there's a connection with the name of Bob. So I know I've got someone here. Richard, do you want me to to give you a number, and let's see if the communicator. I've got Okay. All right then. I just know that this gentleman was quite a big guy, and I feel he was strong, and people used to underestimate him because he was, he looked like he could punch your lights out, but there was something very sensitive within him. He was like a gentle giant. So I don't know if anybody can understand that. Again, I'm not sure about the relationship. I'm not sure if it's like an older brother or father. That's the sort of sense I'm getting here. So I don't know if anybody can understand that. But and he sort of like used to walk in a all right, hello Bev, you can understand this. He had one of that strutting walks that he would a strutting walk that he would come in with. And I know Bob is important. So the ladies that are putting up I was a boxer. Okay. Can you understand the name Bob, Bev? Because I think I know that's quite prominent. And he's strong, and he would have worked out, and he's got big hands, because I just felt myself expanding, and I know I've got big hands, but I feel okay. He's just showed me a picture here. Would you understand, Bev, whereby there's a picture of him holding a child in his arms, a baby, and okay, you understand that. That's great. He's holding a child in his and he's holding the baby in his hand, and in his hands, and the baby, his hands are so big, the baby's small. And I just feel that there's a picture that you have, or someone has, of him holding a baby when the baby was first born. And there's such a sense of love. He comes across with so much love, and I think people underestimated him because, people judged him by the way he looked, and he wasn't like he looked at all. There was a sensitivity. There was I feel that he had a great knowledge as well. And there must have been also a connection where he had a love of birds. Oh, he held his niece in his arms. Okay. But there must have been something about our lovely feathered friends, because I feel that he would either had birds or he followed birds. He was a I can't think a bird watcher. So I feel that I know that there's a connection to birds, and especially I've got blue and yellow bird. Oh, lovely. His sister has the picture. That's great. Blue and yellow birds, like blue tits or something like that. I feel that he obviously loved birds. And I also feel that he loved to be outside as well. And he would have, because he's showing me shovels and spades. So I know he must have had a garden or an allotment where he would have gone to. And he would have, he didn't care being outside in all weathers. And he didn't wear a coat. He tossed pigeons. Oh, right. Okay, that's good. And he didn't wear a coat, because I feel he's got like he didn't need a coat. He didn't like a lot of clothes. He wasn't a jumper man. He would be in a shirt or a t-shirt. And I don't know if he owned a pair of dungarees, a bit like Bob the Builder. But I just feel he must have had dungarees or that he worked in. And I also feel here that he was fantastic at painting, because now he's he's doing painting, and he would have been a perfectionist on that. He would have gone along a skirting board and he wouldn't have gone off the line. He was such a perfectionist. And you had 2 acres. Oh, wow. But I just feel he was quite a perfectionist. Would you also understand where his ashes, or there's some memorial about a tree or a large bush? That's what he's making me aware of. And he just wants to send you a lot of love. And I feel that he said, sometimes I didn't always have to say things, but his eyes would tell you how he felt. He wore doggy clothes. All right, okay. But would you understand about expressive eyes? Because I feel that his eyes would express how he felt. And you could always tell when he was annoyed or when he was happy. And I feel that you had to get to know this man. He had quite a lot of layers to him. Or you can understand that. He just wants to come in with a great deal of love for you. And he's so pleased that you're on here, because I sort of get a sense that he understood this way of life. I feel that he knew about the spirit world, or he knew about spiritualism, or something about where he'd been to see a medium, or you'd been to see a medium before, and he was open to things. So he just wants to send you his love, and something about the land now, the something about the garden, and something, oh, that's lovely, and the most loving eyes. But there's something about the garden now that needs sorting out. And he says, stop putting it off. He said, you do put things off. Don't put it off. It needs sorting before the winter sets in. So take his love and remember to sort out stuff in the garden. Okay? Thank you for working with me.
Wonderful.
Oh, that was
absolutely brilliant. Stunning. Wow. What a day it has.
Well, what a morning we've had. I don't know. It's all been happening.
As I sit here making my list for the final announcements, I've suddenly realised why I keep messing Deb's time up. I'm used to saying Deb's tomorrow.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So at least now I understand it. I can acknowledge it and deal with it. But thank you to everyone. Oh, okay.
Oh,
bless her. Sorry.
Oh, Deb, can I tell him?
Yeah.
Deb Clark has just said to Richard, she sent him a message, and she said that that's one of the best messages she's had that Nick gave her. So well done, Nick. And I felt that. I'll be honest, I felt that emotion. So
I try and work with personality and an emotion as much as anything else.
Yeah.
Because it's about connection and acceptance.
Absolutely.
It has it again. It has it. I mean, the way you know as well as anybody else who's been knocking around here the amount of time we have. Yeah. The way you work evolves and changes.
Oh God, yeah, big time.
You know, there was one point when I was literally just working in claircognizance and opening my gob and stuff was coming out. But I've kind of taken I've gone round the circle again, and I try and work with emotion and relationship, because I think that's what the world needs, that connection and acceptance. And Deb, absolutely, bless your heart. Thank you for such a wonderful message. Oh, God bless you. You know, and I'm talking about the message that you sent Richard.
Yeah.
You know, it's so kind of you to say that. So thank you. And an absolute pleasure again. And Bev Ridley, thank you so much. Appreciated.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's so funny. When we're working, we don't always see the comments when we're working. And you know, you'd originally said the name Robert, and you say, and she'd commented originally saying, you know, my husband Robert. And you said the Bob must connect somewhere.
I know.
And it's like, but it just shows that you're in the moment rather than on the screen, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. Tony Coppins, thank you so much, Karen. It's the best message I've had ever. Dad and I are close, and he talks to me. Beautiful.
Oh,
what a day.
Pleasure. Oh, my pleasure. Oh God.
There we go. That message from Karen was also the closest I had. There we go.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
fire. Oh, here we go. Debbie Callow. Yes, my message from Nick was the best ever. I need comfort so much. Apologies, as I said, the message was from Richard. Oh, bless you. I didn't mind. I really don't mind. You got what you needed.
Exactly.
That's what matters. That is what matters. Bless you. Rebecca's enjoyed herself. You're very welcome. Good. And of course, gentle reminder, Deb Clark is tonight at 8 p.m.
Tonight.
Tomorrow we have the new show at 6 p.m. from the lovely Diet and Jessica. And a reminder, of course, that there is no shopping show tonight. Please send healing to Karen. And of course, Bill won't be on Thursday, so please send healing to him too. Send out your love and your thoughts to yourselves and each other. And send out your thoughts to all those in need, both those that you know, those you don't know, and those especially who have no one to ask for them. Karen, again, thank you so much.
Oh, do you know what? I love this show. I think it's so special, and it's been my pleasure to be on here today. And of course, you'll be back next week on a Monday. We go back to Mondays next week. So
exactly. So we shall return.
Ooh. Well, that
Richard's looking into a midweek coffee and cuppa show. So that
sounds great. Coffee and cake.
Yes, you could call it "Let Them Eat Spirit." No, probably think of something better than that, Richard. You do the name. And for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to say thank you all and God bless you. A big thank you to all for the joining in, the comments, looking after each other as well. A huge thank you to Richard as ever for putting up with us and putting up with my goofs and mispronunciations. Eunice, bless you, this was one of the best shows so far.
Thank you, Eunice. It really means a lot. It really does. Yeah, it does. Really does. It's been my pleasure to be with you all today. It's been absolutely fantastic.
And so, from the two of us, the three of us, the 50 billion of us, all in the world, cake with spirit, Deb says.
Yes.
Cake with spirit. There you go, Richard. You know, you're getting the suggestions now. From Richard, myself, Karen. Yes. So he's reeling off the list of all the work to go into actually making it happen. So just
absolutely
buy your own cake for a couple of weeks, all right? From Richard, from myself, from the lovely Karen, to all of you watching and all of you that will watch, and of course from the world of spirit. God bless. Be good. Be safe. Be kind. And we'll see you all very soon.
Lots of love, everybody. Bye.